Yo, what is really good, my dudes? Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2018. We got another RuneScape update for y'all. So today we see the release of the Aura Management Interface, as well as Bakriminel Bolts additions. So without any further ado, let's just jump right in the video. Let's go! Alright guys, so first off we got the Aura Management Interface. Now I'm not going to go into major detail regarding this because I have covered it extensively in previous videos, so you can check out any one of those if you're curious. But basically you click on the Aura icon on your worn equipment interface, and you can now see that all of your auras have been consolidated into this interface. They are no longer considered items, so you can find them all over here. This is going to be where you're going to be activating, deactivating, swapping out your auras during combat, and even buying auras directly from the interface. It also uses functionality like Viswax and the reset ability from the Hellion Aura if you happen to have it from the Premier Club this year. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just hop into the game. Like I said, click on that button on your worn equipment interface, and you should be able to fiddle with it with relative ease and figure out exactly what you need to do and how to function throughout it and manage it properly, etc. It's really like not that complicated, so I'm not gonna really hark on it too much. It's relatively straightforward. Alright guys, with that out of the way, we're gonna hop over to the Bakriminel Bolts. Now I have talked about this previously on the channel as well. So basically, Bakriminel Bolts are tier 80 bolts with tier 75 damage. They have now been buffed if you add gems to them. All of the gem tips will add 10 levels to the bolts, making it tier 90 with 85 damage, and then once you enchant it even further, that's an additional 10 levels, buffing these new bolts to tier 99 with tier 95 damage, making them the best in slot bolts for the foreseeable future. Now, I've talked about the effects of each of the bolts in a previous video, and they have been showing on screen as I've been talking, so you could pause and check them out for yourself there, or you could just refer back to my other Bakriminel Bolts video, and I discuss every bit there. So yeah, some of these are really powerful, and I can see them being used very extensively to the point where it's going to really change up the range meta in a major way. It's really good that that range really did need the buff. It's just unfortunate that, you know, bows are actually taking a pretty large hit with this, but I digress. Still an awesome update for range. Get out there, collect your Bakriminel Bolts, tip them with your favorite effects, and get to PVMing. So guys, with that out of the way, we're going to have the final week of the January Somlin store sale. That's worth 50% off on select items. This is the final week, and for this week, you can grab yourself the Death by Fire animation, Strong Arm Resting animation, Powerful Divination animation, Fist of Strength teleport animation, Happy Walk animation, Breaking Wind emote, Caridian music box, Zaros pack, Prototype Colossus, Dragon Keepsake Key 3-pack, The Title, Zamorak Wings, Scorching Axe, and the Frostwalker outfit. The sale will end on January 31st, so if you're interested in any of those, I suggest you go pick those up while you can. Anyways guys, that is it for the main game update. We're going to jump into the patch notes now and see exactly what we've got going on over there, so let's go check it out. The correct information is now displayed when trying to log in with a temporary ban. The hint marker now displays correctly. Displaying null models on interfaces no longer causes client crashes. Compiler flags have been improved for Windows builds. A potential cause for threading related crashes was identified and fixed. Hit marks are now available to display different colors in the NXT client. An issue that was causing certain character models to become invisible during animations has been fixed. RAM usage has been optimized for Grand Exchange searches. Some core interface logic was sped up. The memory footprint of the location system has been reduced by 10 megabytes. Interface system memory was cut down by 15 megabytes. Items no longer appear invisible in player inventories and banks. The cherry tree hotspot in a player-owned port now uses a cherry tree model instead of a maple tree. Some broken windows were fixed on the first floor of Lumbridge Castle. Some windows were adjusted in the Faldor Gem store. Last week's changes to the retro polo neck basic clothing for female characters were reverted. A broken lava texture in the wilderness was updated. A leaf that used to clip to the ground on the Wishing Well bush near the monastery patch has been fixed. Armadale no longer appears before the tower south of Faldor appears when viewing from a distance. A modeling issue was fixed with one of the great trees in the Cruis district in Preftinis. A stretching issue on the Runespan skybox has been fixed. The cliffs near the Odd Old Man's bonfire no longer display sandy textures. Floating green squares were removed below deck on board the Adventurous during a Clockwork Syringe. The southernmost ship in Port Sarim now reflects correctly on the water. A section of the cliff north of the dig site no longer untextured. An issue with the underwater tutorial island skybox was resolved. All sand tiles near the arid area now render correctly. A height mapping issue which was causing a dip in the ground south of Yanel has been fixed. Players can no longer stand inside one of the banners on the Void Knight outpost. A force walk tile has been removed from beneath Armadale's tower and an area near Catherby. An issue was resolved concerning an unblocked tile near the swamp cave entrance in the Lumbridge Swamp. A height mapping issue was fixed concerning the water and ground geometry south of Taverley Bank. Carpets in the player-owned port office no longer face clipping issues. Blocking issues have been resolved with the small lava pits in the wilderness near the Red Dragon Island and the lava maze. The roof above the upper level balcony in Aletya will now remove correctly when the remove roof setting is toggled on. The roof in the Yanel Wizard's Tower will now remove correctly when the remove roof setting is toggled on. The Holy Grail is no longer visible when a player is on the level below it. Players can no longer walk inside an ice outcrop in the Asherod Mammoth Iceberg. Players can no longer walk inside one of the pillars in the underground dig site area. Some block tiles were removed from in front of a bench in Catherby. The giant ant bonus to harvesting fruit trees now works correctly in combination with the farming skill gate perk or a patch bomb. Splitting 5 kg blocks on a granite into 500g pieces now gives 10 pieces instead of 12 pieces. Players can no longer interact with some of the sawmill operators from further away than intended. The Dungeoneering skill gate perk no longer displays a no cannon allowed message when opening the teleport menu. Dialog box now shows level requirements of the door, if any, when using a lock melter in Dungeoneering. Players will no longer receive black ibis pieces from Pyramid Plunder if the outfit piece is currently stored from Diango. The Diary of Irby Flax now only opens the Shades of Morton quest overview when the quest has not yet been started. The Some Like It Cold quest journal now correctly states where to craft the rock and pop outfits. Unless unlocked during the quest, music tracks from Missing Presumed Death will now unlock upon completion by visiting the Imperium Citadel. A barrel of cooked minnow has been added to the fishing area in A Shadow over Ashdale to help players who may not have brought enough food for the Crassian encounter. Crassians defeated during A Shade over Ashdale now drop 3 minnow instead of 1. Players now face the correct direction when using doors or stairs in a Lumbridge Catacombs. Receiving Lil Tuzzy will now unlock the raid's feat title on the occasion that it is unlocked last. The correct numbers of achievements is now shown under boss kills. The second shrubbery achievement is now marked as a non-member achievement located under miscellaneous. Players can now buy each of the damaged god books from Josic before completing prior books. Augmented bounty hunter weapons no longer show item charge. Certain player-owned ports armor pieces no longer show a broken item charge tooltip. The used versions of the Zaros Godsword, Staff of Sliske, and Saren Godbow can no longer be traded. Rebinding the F7 hotkey will now correctly unbind it from Rune Metrics. The Wilderness Slayer Contract tooltip no longer displays item charge. Players can now use magic notepaper on the following items: Dragon Plate Skirt, Plate Legs, Square Shield, Kite Shield, Full Helm, and Plate Body. The Summit clan has had its logo added to the clan motif editor for winning the Clan Cup back in 2015. Shops will now only show options to buy in multiple based on the amount of items in stock. The display of the overhead target information was rewritten in order to fix an issue with the background layer becoming transparent unintentionally. This rewrite also improves the responsiveness and accuracy of the health bar. Players will no longer incorrectly receive a message saying that they have received a dragon plate leg / skirt from a bronze dragon. Luck increasing items now affect the dragon plate leg / skirt drop from iron dragons. Luck messages no longer appear incorrectly from infernal mages. The camera tutorial at the start of the Ashdale tutorial now explains how to zoom the camera. Gudric's opening dialogue at the start of the Ashdale tutorial has been reduced by removing his premonition. A help button has been added to the world map. The world map opening tutorial is now only 1 page long, as the tutorial can now be repeated by using the help button on the map. The Wilderness Sword no longer prioritizes itself over the Royal Crossbow on death. Onyx Bolts E no longer trigger their heal effect twice. Adding ammo to a Kinetic Cyclone / ODAC coil will now reliably reveal a buff icon showing how much ammo remains. Note this icon will not show if the ammo perk from the Artisan's Workshop is unlocked. 2 following hotfixes that went live throughout last week were: Tier 2 of the Sun Fury now unlocks correctly after fully upgrading. If it's still Tier 1 with 35k out of 35k Sanctification points, it's possible to upgrade by gaining Prayer XP while having the Sun Fury outfit activated. Iron Man no longer receive a login message about Vic. Icons have been added to the world map for Goblin Raids and Demon Flash mobs in the style of the Wildy Worm. This feature can still be hidden using the Doomsayer toggle system. Dwarven multi-cannons now jam where they're previously decayed. Players can repair the cannon in this state to reactivate it without needing to rebuild it. It will also be destroyed as before if not prepared within 20 minutes. Feedback messages from the Dwarven multi-cannon now appear as information boxes. The 34 defense requirement has been removed from both main-hand and off-hand dragon maces and battle axes, and from modifying house teleport tabs. The 36 defense requirement has been removed from teleporting with Draken's Medallion. The opportunity to gain 30 prayer XP from killing Ghast is now unlocked behind completion of Nature's Spirit. Tarn Razorlore no longer despawns if the player takes too long to kill him in his mutant and ghost forms. This is to allow for usage of a ring of recoil to defeat him. And that is it for the patch notes. Links to both the patch notes and the main game update will be down in the description below if you want to check them out for yourself. That is it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I am out. Peace.